So there's about a month left until the NFL regular season starts, and now the time is ticking where we're starting to think about who needs to win this year. The team that needs to win the most and actually has the most pressure is Lamar Jackson in this Ravens team. This is a guy that is a two-time MVP, and in my opinion, at his best, is the best and most unstoppable player in the NFL. He has every intangible. This team has every single part of help you could expect. As a good defense, it wasn't that great last year. He has a fantastic offense with one of the best O-lines, a great running back, and a solid receiving core. But when it comes time to step up to the plate and really clash with the best of the best, Lamar Jackson just doesn't execute it well. We've seen him lose 2 times to Josh Allen. We've seen him lose to Patrick Mahomes. We've even seen him lose to Derrick Henry in the playoffs. And at a certain point, we have to write him off as a playoff perennial quarterback. We know his success in the regular season and we know how good he is, but he just doesn't bring that level of play in the playoffs. Similarly to him, someone that's lacking the playoff success is Josh Allen. Now, I don't think that Josh Allen is as bad of a playoff performer as Lamar Jackson. If anything, I think Josh Allen is a great playoff quarterback. He just can't beat Patrick Mahomes. And so I think that that's where the pressure lies, because Chiefs this year are not as good as they were last year. And I don't really think anybody's expecting the Kansas City Chiefs to go back to the Super Bowl this year. They're in a mode where they kind of figure out what they need to improve on, who they need to move out, bring in, and get back to the Super Bowl. And have Patrick Mahomes, so their window isn't closed, but the windows for the other teams have much more opened up due to the Chiefs not being as good. But Josh Allen, on the other hand, he can beat top quarterbacks, but he just can't beat Patrick Mahomes. And I think if there is one year where he can take the cake, take the icing, it's this year. And I think that's why the pressure is on him so much. But there's no more pressure on any AFC quarterback other than Lamar Jackson. You move down to the Cincinnati Bengals, and there's definitely pressure. They just re-signed T. Higgins. They just signed Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. I mean, are having guys at the peaks of their career that are playing the best of the best at their positions. You could argue that last year Joe Burrow was the best quarterback and they didn't even make the playoffs. This is a team that has pressure. I wouldn't say the pressure lies on Joe Burrow. His level of play has been amazing. He's already gotten his team to a Super Bowl. He's proven himself in the playoffs. But this team needs to start handling things a lot more professional as far as bringing in talent that can get this team to the playoffs. There's no reason you should have the best wide receiver and best quarterback in the NFL and not succumb to 10 wins. Now, I think a team that needs to be more scrutinized and have more pressure on their names is this Los Angeles Chargers team led by Justin Herbert, a guy that is always said to be one of the biggest arms, most talented, whatever it may be, just always getting lots of praise and positivity talked around his name. But come the playoffs, I don't see any of it. And I watch Justin Herbert. I know he's a great quarterback. We all do. But to be the best and to be held on a pedestal, you need to perform when the lights are brightest, and that is something he doesn't do. He had one of the worst playoff performances last year against the Texans. He had a absolute terrible performance against the Jaguars, selling one of the biggest leads in playoff history. And this is a guy that does have a solid team around him. Last year, the Chargers had one of the top 3 defenses in the NFL. They had a solid receiving core. Ladd McCarthy was a standout rookie, and they have a solid offensive line. Now, I'm not saying that Justin Herbert has the top tier weapons in the league. He doesn't, and he hasn't ever really had that his entire career. But what he does have is a very solid team with a great defense. And if you want to proclaim yourself as a top 10 quarterback, you need to be the one raising the value of your team. Justin Herbert needs to have some pressure around his name this upcoming season. Now, moving over to the NFC, obviously the team with the least amount of pressure is the Philadelphia Eagles. Coming off of a Super Bowl, one of the best Super Bowl wins in recent memory, smacking the what it seemed to be untouchable Kansas City Chiefs, Jalen Hurts has proven himself more than any other quarterback on this entire list. Now, a team that does have pressure is the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott has kind of the same scenario as Justin Herbert. Always talked about as top 10. Everybody says he's great. and he just doesn't do anything in the playoffs. In the regular season, he looks like he could bring home an MVP trophy, and then once the lights go bright, he completely disappears and fades away. Every year that the Cowboys have made the playoffs, they're first round exits. We haven't seen Dak Prescott go far into the playoffs since his rookie season when he had an all-pro running back in Ezekiel Elliott. If Dak Prescott doesn't win a playoff game this season, it's very obvious that they will never get any playoff success out of him at any point in his career. This Minnesota Vikings team, now with them being one of the best teams in the NFL last year with Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy comes into this with a win now mentality. The pressure is really on JJ McCarthy. This is a great team, one of the best receiving cores, solid offensive line, again another top 5 defense, and all they need is a true quarterback one. We saw Sam Darnold crumble in the playoffs last year. JJ McCarthy be the deciding factor that makes them be a 2 to maybe 1 playoff team, to maybe be a second to possibly third round playoff team instead of being first round exits yet again. Now, of course, this is a guy we don't know much about. We haven't seen him play. He played one half of a preseason game. He didn't play at all after the torn ACL. So there's a lot of question around this Minnesota Vikings team. But Los Angeles Rams, I think that moving on from Cooper Kupp and bringing Devontae Adams is the best upgrade right now today. And we saw them give the hardest task for this Philadelphia Eagles team. Had they been able to stop the run, they were going to win that game and possibly go to the Super Bowl. This Rams team has everything you could ask for in a true playoff team. A Super Bowl winning quarterback, Puka Nacua, as the wide receiver 1 is something any team would love. Wide receiver 2, Devontae Adams, is something any team is begging for. They have a good running back, a good offensive line, solid tight end, a solid defense, and most importantly, a fantastic head coach. This is a team that has the opportunity to upset anybody because of their proven playoff success. The Detroit Lions, last year they were the number 1 seed, and again, they didn't prove themselves in the playoffs. Now, technically not first round, but second round exits. Their first playoff game they played, they lost to Jaden Daniels. Jared Goff played one of the worst games I've ever seen from him. They had 5 turnovers as a team. Jared Goff was obviously playing concussed, and it showed. But this is a team that, outside of really the Eagles, has the best roster in the NFL. One of the best running backs, one of the best wide receivers, one of the best wide receiver 2s, one of the best tight ends. The list goes on and on and on about how fantastic this team is. And when your roster is that good, you need your quarterback to be valuable. And Jared Goff did not raise the value of his team in that playoff game. He was hurt, so I'll give him some slack. But this Detroit Lions team needs to win now. They are set up at the point where if they don't win now, they need to make some changes at that quarterback position. This is now going to be Jared Goff's 4th or 5th season as a Lions quarterback, and he has been a part of that change in culture, but also that change in roster has been the biggest factor. The change in head coach has been the biggest factor. So if there's really anybody under pressure, it's obviously Jared Goff and this Lions team, because there's no better time for them to win than right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, stay tuned. Peace.